You found the perfect vintage Japanese silk, but that elegant crest on the back might be a sacred family seal you aren't supposed to wear. Is upcycling these historic textiles a form of preservation, or are you accidentally erasing someone's ancestral lineage? Let's decode the ethic of wearing Kamon before you stitch. Hidden within these intricate silk patterns lies a 1,000-year-old history of samurai clans and sacred family identities. But as modern sewists, we face a difficult choice. Do we showcase these crests or mask them out of respect? Discover where cultural appreciation ends and appropriation begins in the world of repurposed kimono. Before you cut into the vintage silk, you need to know the weight of the symbols you're holding. To understand why this is such a delicate topic, we first have to redefine what we are looking at. A Kamon is not a logo. It's not a mere fashion brand or a trendy geometric aesthetic. It is a sacred genealogical map representing centuries of ancestral lineage. Historically, these symbols dates back to the Heian period, over 1,000 years ago, starting with the nobility and later adopted by samurai clans. Samurai needed a striking way to display their battlefield achievements, and that's how warrior family crests were born. By the Sengoku period, these crests were literal lifesavers used to tell friend from foe in the chaos of war. But for everyday ordinary citizens, Kamon only spread to the general public after the Meiji Restoration, when commoners were finally allowed to hold official family surnames. Believe it or not, there are over 25,000 distinct Kamon designs in existence today, and they aren't all displayed in the same way. Visually, they are split into Hinata-mon, full bold crests, and Kagemon, subtle shadow or outline crests. Artisans traditionally used 3 techniques to apply them. Somenuki, dye excision, where the background is dyed away. Surikomi, stencil painting, and nui, embroidery. The method actually dictates the formality. Somenuki is the most formal, followed by stenciling and finally embroidery. If you look at a 5-crest kimono, you will always feature the absolute highest tier, the Somenuki Hinatamon. Interestingly, if a family crest features a circle boundary, women are traditionally allowed to remove the circle for a softer look. Mainly a custom in the Kansai region. These are matrilineal crests passed down strictly from mother to daughter, completely separate from the father's lineage. 着物に入れる紋の数は1、3、5と格式が上がるたびに、増えていきます。この特に5つ紋ですね、黒留袖に使われる紋についてはそれぞれ意味があります。まず1つ目、この背中にあるものですね。背中にあるものについては古来から日本は背中から邪気や悪いものが襲ってくるといった考え方がありました。なのでご先祖様が背中から守ってくれるという意味で、背中に紋が1つついています。両胸にも紋がついています。その紋については、ご両親、そして袖の裏にも1つずつついています。それについては、兄弟だったり親戚といった意味があります。 なので5つもんのこういった黒留め袖を着るということは、家族、親族全体に守られているといった意味になります。ただここで悲しい皮肉があります。そこまで格式の高い着物というのは、めったに着る頻度がありません。特に子供の数が減っている日本においては、結婚式に参加するというのは、自分の家族のうちもそうですし、親戚の結婚式に参画するっていうのも減っていっています。なので多くの方は、レンタルですね。レンタルの着物を借りているんですけれども、そこでの紋はどういうものになるかというと、通り紋といって、どの方でも着れるような紋がついていることが多いです。なので今の現代の日本においては、その誰かが他の人の家紋を着ているからどうかと何か異議を唱えるようなことは全く起きません。なのでそういった状況において、じゃあ日本にルーツを持たない外国の方が紋が入ってる家紋、日本の家紋が入ってる着物を着ることについて何か倫理的に問題があるかというと、私の答えは全くないというのが答えです。なぜならそもそもですね、着物は現代社会において、現代の日本においては大量に破棄されていると現実があり、それを救っている、新たに命を吹き込んでいる、そのこと自体がそもそも称賛されるべき行動であるということです。ただもし皆さんが手に入れたインターネットだったり日本に行った時に買った着物ですね、もし家紋がついていたらぜひインターネットで調べてみてください。英語のサイトでも家紋日本着物ルーツを調べるなどとちょっと調べると結構いろんなサイトが出しています。例えばその家紋に富士が使われていたら富士はどういった意味があるのか、またどの地域でよく使われていたものなのかというのを知ると、よりその着物が特別なものになると思ってます。そのストーリーを知った上でその後どうするかというのは完全にあなた次第です。その着物をありのまま着るというのも全く問題ないですし、またその周りにですね、何か刺繍をつけたりおしゃれをする、おしゃれを入れる、ワンポイントを入れるっていうのも最近日本では流行っているので、そういったことでより特別なものにしていくっていうのもありだと思ってます。あるいは敬意の証としてその家紋の位置をですね、あえてそこを裏地に隠れるようにすることによって、封印することも私は全く問題ないと思ってます。どちらの方法を選んだとしても、あなたは職人の技に敬意を表していて、そしてその忘れられていた家宝に新しい命を吹き込んでいる。それはとても称賛されるべきことだと思ってます。
Second part of this video, we upcycle this magnificent Komon kimono. It bears just a single crest on the spine, surrounded by a breathtaking flowing water pattern woven directly into the silk. Now, when we talk about a Komon kimono, we are referring to a specific traditional style defined by a continuous fine pattern repeated across the entire surface of the fabric. Historically, these intricate motifs were created using incredibly precise stencils, and because the patterns runs in all directions without a fixed top or bottom, it represents a beautiful, infinite rhythm. While most Komon are casual, everyday wear with no crests at all. Finding one made of high-grade silk with a single family crest elevates it into a stunning, semi-formal garment, a perfect canvas for a creator. Look closely at this specific design. The river of flowing water motif, known as Ryusui, carries a profound meaning in Japanese textile history. It represents a concept of mujo, the continuous flux of time and the beautiful impermanence of life. Just as a river washes away debris, water motifs symbolize purification, resilience, and the washing away of bad luck. We often see this combined with other seasonal symbols. For example, when a river motif is paired with drifting maple leaves or cherry blossoms, it tells a specific story about the passing of autumn or spring. But when the river pattern flows purely on its own like this one, it stands as a timeless wish for good fortune, adaptation, and an unblemished future. The legendary Japanese haiku master Matsuo Basho once traveled to the untamed wildness of northern Japan and wrote these timeless words. さみだれを集めて林最上川 Gathering the rains of May, how swift she flows, Mogami River. Basho captured the sheer dynamic energy of nature, 1,000 relentless raindrops uniting into a magnificent rushing torrent. As I hold this fabric in a natural window light, I realize that exact same elemental life force is breathing inside this vintage silk. In the West, we often view upcycling as a simple design trend or an eco-friendly alternative. But in Japan, working with a textile like this is deeply intertwined with ancient philosophical concepts that change the way you approach every single cut and stitch. The first concept that guides my hands today is Wabi-Sabi. The beauty of things that are imperfect, impermanent, and incomplete. This vintage silk isn't pristine or brand new off a factory board. It has minor creases, perhaps a soft patina from age, and a history woven by hands that are no longer here. By embracing these elements instead of hiding them, we honor the truth of the textile. Closely tied to this is mono no aware, which translates beautifully to the bittersweet path of things, or an empathy toward impermanence. There is a profound melancholy in knowing that this garment was once a family prized possession, yet it made its way to my place, because it was eventually not needed. But rather than mourning its past, we use our sewing to celebrate its fleeting nature, giving it a vibrant second life. But perhaps the most vital philosophy for any modern maker is Mottainai. It's a word that conveys a deep sense of regret over waste. It represents the inherent value in every scrap of material and calls on us to treat resources with absolute reverence and gratitude. When I look at the offcuts of my fabrics, Mottainai reminds me that nothing should be mindlessly thrown away. Even leftover pieces can become intricate patch pockets, delicate piping, or traditional sashiko patches for a future project. It forces you to slow down, to think intentionally, and to respect the incredible labor of the weaver who created this fabric decades ago. At the end of the day, when we apply these philosophies to our craft, we cease to be mere consumers. We become a bridge between eras. Every line of thread we sewed becomes a physical continuum, honoring the original Japanese master artisan while creating something completely new, functional, and deeply respectful for the modern world.
こちらは以前のビデオでご紹介した、奥様を去年亡くされたイギリス人の男性から、いただいたものに入っていたものです。彼女のこの着物をアップサイクルさせていただいている中で、やっぱすごい何でしょう、感じるのはご先祖様を大切にされていて、でかつこう日本の文化ですよね、お愛されていて、でかつそれをねイギリスのパーティーとかに着られていたということなので、日本の文化に誇りを持たれて、またその保存状態からすごい大切にされていたんだなということが扱っていて感じます。で今回この着物何色なんだろう、黄土色、緑色でもないんですけど、なんかすごいプレーンと思いきやよく見るとすごい綺麗ですよね。この模様がこの刺繍の凹凸によって、この革文様ですよね、流水文様を表現している、生地にから仕立てられたもので、なんか奥ゆかしさっていうか繊細さというか尊さを感じます。で今回はこちらを、裾の長い裾を切って羽織にしました。であとですね、ここのその切ったところが余ってるので、これを今からスカーフにしていきたいと思います。
Under the philosophy of Mottainai, we cannot let this artistry go to waste. Instead, we are going to piece them together to create a lightweight, fluid, luxury scarf. To inspire this transformation, I found myself turning to the words of 3 Japanese haiku masters who looked at the moving water of summer and saw something profound. First, Yamaguchi Seishi captured the breathtaking visual depth of the season with his verse. 茶屋の裏、根性にして夏の川。Behind the tea house, turning a deep Prussian blue, the summer river. He paints a picture of stark, dramatic contrast. The deep, rich indigo blue of the water, hidden just behind the everyday scenery. As I handle these remnants, that is exactly what I see. The bright, reflective silk embroidery creates that same deep, shifting contrast as it moves against the shadows of the fabric. To bring this river to life from mere scraps, we lean on the philosophy of Chowa, which means the pursuit of harmony and balance. When you are piecing together remnants, you cannot force the fabric. You have to look at the grain lines, follow the direction of the woven water motifs and harmonize the tones so that the final composition feels entirely intentional. By aligning these pieces, we step into the joyful, tactile world of the Edo period poet, Yosa Buson, who wrote, 夏川を越す嬉しさよ手に草履 Crossing the summer river, what sheer joy, sandals in hand. Buson evokes the immediate sensory bliss of a scorching summer's day, kicking off your footwear to wade through a cool stream with bare feet. You can instantly feel the refreshing splash of the water and that childlike sense of absolute liberation. That is the exact energy I want to stitch into the fluid movement of this scarf. This brings us to a beautiful creative mindset known as Mitate. The art of seeing something not just for what it is, but for what it could be. It's the philosophy of choosing to perceive an object in a completely new poetic context. To a casual observer, these might look useless textile offcuts, destined for the bin. But through Mitate, we choose to see these fragments as individual ripples of a stream. And as the sewing machine begins to rhythmically stitch them together, I'm reminded of a stunning modern haiku by Nakamura Teijo. 夏の川、汽車の車輪の下になる。The summer river, roaring beneath the train's iron wheels. Teijo juxtaposes the timeless natural flow of the river with the heavy industrial beat of a passing train. There's a powerful rhythm to it. Here, at the machine, the steady hum of my motor and the rapid strike of the needle become our own modern train wheels, roaring over the Silk River, binding the past to the present. At the end of the day, this is the ultimate reward of mindful upcycling. We didn't just make a primary garment. We listened to the fabric, respected the weaver's labor, and allowed the leftovers to dictate their own beautiful destiny. We have taken a forgotten heirloom that was left, found its historical roots, and transformed it into a modern wardrobe story. Even after making the scarf, there were still a few precious remnants left over, so I decided to craft beautiful scrunchies. Have you ever seen a scrunchie look this grown up and incredibly stylish? I also managed to make these chic journal covers to match. Absolute perfection, don't you think? On my website, alongside the finished product, I also sell unpicked fabric panels as well as 100-gram bundles of scraps left over from my projects. These fabric bundles are absolutely perfect if you've never worked with vintage kimono silk before, or if you simply want to experiment with a beautiful variety of traditional patterns. Right, and with that, another successful upcycling mission is complete. This scarf adds such an effortlessly stylish accent to a plain white top. I intentionally made it a bit longer this time. You can drape it loosely with a single turn or wrap it twice to carry you beautifully right through into autumn. On this channel, I show you the whole journey, how to source vintage kimono online, where to find them if you're traveling to Japan, and how we can lovingly upcycle them. And over on Patreon, I'm sharing exclusive behind-the-scenes content straight from my studio every single week. This week, I'm talking all about maintaining my mental and physical health as a creative creator. It's my personal secret for keeping this beautiful journey going for the long run, whilst staying completely energized. Thank you so much for joining me on this project today. I'll see you in the next one. Mata ne!